Hello everyone, my name is Nopad and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on Midnight Anima some more. Yes, Midnight Anima, game that is definitely written by me and not a fictional human being. Don't worry everybody. Maybe I'm not real either. But yeah, so what occurred since last time? Well, quite a bit actually. Most notably, I got the talents done. Well, all of the talents, but am I saying they're good? That's where things get a little bit tricky. Most of the idea is that each of the talents aren't major things, they supplement. They are supplemental. And you're not really going to get that many of them. That's why I kind of kept it down to about 5 per class. Unless you go full ham on a class, you're going to be able to at least get a little bit of a mix and match between them. I tried to make sure that every single one of them had use somewhere in the equation, which is a little bit easier said than done. Oh yeah, I have this. Ignore this. Give me 1 second. I just need to put this over here. I'm just gonna call that Boyar Lord. We don't need to look at that. Don't look at this. Go. That's what you think. But, oh, Jesus, can I click on the right thing for once? But generally speaking, the idea is, let's say for example, you're playing the Hadaka here. If you choose the Hadaka as your first initial class, you can choose 2 of these at character creation. So you may say like, oh, well, I want to pick up, used to the pain, and useless. Actually, what I should do is do that and gain a +1. Like, there you go. Like, you just select those 2 talents right off the bat, and it's a passive of, hey, anytime you fail a skill check, you get 1 focus point back. Or, hey, if you're used to the pain, you get a +1 to any of your endurance checks, which is pretty good because it allows you just to mitigate damage because people think because you just endure the pain. That kind of goes for all of them in one way or another. The only one that I'm like a little bit worried about is kind of the costs. The actual like focus point costs seem a little bit low, but I want people to actually use these abilities. So it's kind of this back and forth. Useless, yes. Because one of the ideas is that all of the, how do I want to word this? All of the classes aren't necessarily the nicest to one another. Or, even really that good of people. Because you get things like, for example, you get the entertainer who get redirect. When attacked, redirect the attack to an ally. You can just spend 1 focus point and then immediately say, no, I'm not being attacked, they're being attacked, and have somebody else out to deal with the problem. Which might be part of the strategy. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe you want the bandit to take all this damage because you damn well know they can. Or you just don't want to die, which is entirely also possible. I do see a lot of these ones, like Mad Eyes down here, which is a free push on a magical attack or skill check. Kind of go on to that a little bit later. But yeah, most everything got. I try to put in some non-combat stuff, but fun fact, when you have a game built around combat, that gets a little bit difficult. Yeah, Priest also have the one where if somebody dies, you get bonus point, you get your focus back. Yeah, then we have Shaman. Shaman's the weird one. I'm gonna say this right now. Shaman is the weird one. Because the idea is that Shaman is, you have all of the elemental abilities by virtue of having it. And that's going to change your glove up. That's kind of one of the big ideas behind it, is that you can use your glove to do different things. And we use technically the Firekeeper from Dark Souls, not Dark Souls 3. And yeah, and then trust me, I had like the Dragonquest abilities open, I had Dark Souls abilities open, I was kind of going nuts on them. It was a little bit funky, but I made it work. Thief, pretty much the exact same. They get things like dodge rolling, KO punching. These ones were a little bit weird simply because there weren't that much to actually use. And so I ended up having to kind of like shift around a little bit. Thus you have things like backstab or follow-up. There's no such thing as backstabbing people in this game. You stand in a line. That's the entire idea. However, you can go sneak and then attack and then you go critical. That's pretty much how it works. Let me see. The one that kind of got the weirdest was the merchant. They just get a bunch of bonuses to things. That's all. They also get this one for, you spend 2 focus points anytime you use an item. You can just roll a 1d6 on a 50-50. You're not going to spend the item, which is, I think, pretty decent. Because money isn't a thing. I didn't realize that money isn't a thing. I've just never added that in, so it's not in there. Let's see. So, phase system, obviously we went over this last time. We have the introduction phase, the adventure phase, which I need to do enemies before this makes a little bit of sense. Combat phase, I did add this little section right here, this little image right here, just to kind of explain what how the line system works. Initiative, and then I kind of fixed up all of the actions in combat, made it a little bit more easy to understand. I do also have things called Skillcraft and Magecraft, which we go down here, which is the idea being you can use your abilities to do things. I know that sounds like an amazing leap of fucking logic, but bear with me here. Is instead of adding every single fucking spell in the game, because, fun fact, I'm gonna give you a secret how Dragonquest handles spells. Frizz. Frizzle. Frizzle. Frizzler. Frizzle dizzle. It kind of works off of Final Fantasy logic, how people would kind of see it on, what came first, chicken or the egg, though, which is the idea. It's like fire, Firaga, Figara, super giga fire. It's the same ability, just more powerful over time. And I'm like, I could add every single one of those in unique, but like, no, that's just a basic magic attack. We don't got to think about that. But what do you do when it's like, oh, I want to cast explosion and just damage all the enemies? That's a completely separate set of spells in the game. Sizz. So it's like, okay, just give them a general push. Cool. You can push. Cool. Easy enough to understand. Push once, you can target an additional target. Instead of 1 person, it's 2 people. Instead of 1 person, it's 3 people. 1, 2. Simple. Then you ended up with some of the weirder ones, like the buff magic, and buff magic was like, ooh, what are we gonna do? So, hence why we have things like drain magic. Like, here are spells you declassed if you are using drain magic, which is things like defense sap, slowing, sleeping, vampire strike. Healing has antidote, and just fucking heal. Which I wanted to keep the healing as low as possible. So most people are... So like the actual dedicated big heal spell heals 1d6 damage. I rolled a 6. That's the best heal in the game currently, is rolling a d6. Because I didn't want people to be actively doing that. I wanted people to suffer a little bit. Same kind of goes for protection magic. It was like, okay, how do I make this work? Which kind of folds into Skillcraft, which is like, yeah, here's things like danger sense and kind of like using skills to do a thing. Not exactly the most complex idea in the world. Each of the different, blocking situations. Turns out many of the skills aren't super useful. Like, so I kind of just did like a small selection of them. Like, here's some basic ideas, but I do add this little footnote here, which is use skills to do things. This isn't an amazing theory here. If you do want to do a thing, roll a skill and it'll probably work. Just do it. In words of Shia LaBeouf, just fucking do it. Where did I put this as? No, okay, no, that's no, I have physical attack here. Okay, cool. Yeah, everything should work here relatively well. I did add the rest phase. Rest phase is pretty simple. Is once you hit an area which is considered safe and nice, you're gonna rest, and you're gonna restore all your health points and all of your focus points. Simple as that. It's pretty much a bonfire, because that's what a bonfire is, everybody. It is quite literally just a way for you to sit down and restore everything. Nothing more. It's a checkpoint. You can always go back to the hub zone from this rest area. What is that guy doing now after he cheating and captured the flag? I don't know what he did. What are you talking about? But generally speaking, I wanted to keep things as simple as possible. Welcome to the rest area. You sit down, you rest, and sometimes there's going to be like people like shop owners and stuff in those areas. Like, hey, this is the shop guy who sells you weird shit in the fucking, you know, area that he's like, oh, here's a bunch of money and stuff. Cool. Yeah, talk to him. I didn't want to do souls because it's not really thematic for this, because souls were just currency in the other. Fun fact. Dark Souls in all those games would be like, oh, well, I have to spend souls and I get from killing enemy. It's just money. That's all it is. What's Shia doing now? Shia isn't doing really much anymore. Shia is being Shia. Like, he's just being a weird rich person. Shia is just a weird rich person who does has a lot of money. Group spends too long in a rest area, may become endangered. The idea of kind of endangering is to say, hey, if you keep abusing this rest area, something's gonna try to kill you in it. Like, so it's always kind of that encouragement to like keep moving forward. If you don't want to keep moving forward, you're gonna lose things. It's gonna make your life harder. I use silver coins instead of gold coins. Because I wanted to shift things around. So instead of gold, you get silver. Because silver is lesser value. Simple. This brings me to the climax. And next we get to work on the climax phase. Yay. Too much money. Yeah, this is entirely optional. I honestly, you want to use it as you want to use money, here it is. If you don't even bother with it. That's the best part. You all want to be poor bastards, go for it. So let's see. So at the end of the journey is the demon. And when it's confronted, the climax phase begins. The climax phase has the branded enter into a combat where there is no retreat. There's no retreat. Or there is no let's see. The climax phase has the branded enter into a combat where there is no retreat or surrender. The branded will have to fight until the demon is defeated, or they are all lost to the brand. Lost to the brand. So let's see. The battle plays out similar to the combat phase. Similar to the combat phase with two unique let's see, two unique ideas. Let's see. Okay, so the demon is a powerful and dangerous enemy, requiring a bit of coordination to defeat, and as such, coordination to defeat. Let's see, powerful, dangerous enemy, requiring a bit of coordination to defeat. At 50%, when the demon reaches 50% of its HP, it begins to enrage. It becomes enraged. An enraged demon increases its power, increases its gains. The enraged demon gains a new attack. To use, and often a host of new quirks to the battlefield. When the demon is slain, quirks to the battlefield. Pretty much every enemy you're going to fight is going to have two phases. It's going to have its normal phase, and it's also going to have its enraged phase. The enraged phase is when it's going sicko mode. It's the entire goal is to, well, fight you. And when it does happen, it's going to try to kill you. It's big, it's scary, and it wants to, fuck your day up. That's the entire point. The demon is powerful and dangerous enemy, requires a bit of coordination, new attack and all to use, and often hosts new quirks to the battlefield. Actually, when the demon is enraged, even if the demon is healed above. Even if the demon is healed above 50%, 50% of its HP, it will continue to be enraged. Pretty much, you need to think about it like, yeah, can we burn this guy down? And once we hit that enraged phase, are we going to be able to, kind of survive this? The final note is that the branded will automatically resurrect at the end of the round if they're able to. Still following all of the rules of death. Being so close to demonic energy allows the branded to instantly recover, far quicker than usual. But the lingering effects last. So pretty much the idea is that the demon is going to be able to hit you pretty reliably and be able to hit you pretty hard. If you died, you're not out. You're going to come back to full health, which is good. That may be something you want to do, because if you think about it, being like, well, maybe I want to, die before I get hit because something might occur. Like, maybe I want to get all my health back, or maybe we don't want to die right away. Maybe it's okay to sacrifice myself, to block a blow for somebody else, simply because I'm going to come back at the beginning and I can afford to do it. But if you keep doing this, you're not going to have any attributes left. And if you have no attributes left, you're going to have less health, less mana, less everything, the more you continue. So let's see. So if the demon is defeated, the branded are rewarded for their efforts. all surviving Brandon. We'll put a footnote. Indicating that if you're downed, even if you get back up relatively quickly. Let's see, indicating that if you're down, even if you get back relatively quickly, you're not receiving the chief reward. All surviving Brandon are distributed the demon's power back in attributes. Back in attribute points. These allow the or distribute demon's power back in attribute points. These allow the branded to increase their attributes. Hello. These allow the branded to increase their attributes. After a harrowing journey, but having too many allies alive may reduce the overall value of a demon's demise. Which also kind of plays into the idea that you're all kind of assholes. If the demon's going to attack, you damn well know you can take that. You can take that full demon. If you're an entertainer and you damn well know you can take a full hit from that demon and it's not going to kill you, you're gonna finish off the round. It's gonna be fine. He's gonna die. However, there's 4 of you and he has 8 power. You're all gonna restore 2 attributes. That's nothing. Maybe it's okay to redirect the attack to the person you damn well know can't take it. Maybe we should redirect the attack to the bandit with like 1 health staggering away. Don't worry, he can take it, right? He can take it. And if he dies, well, he's gonna die at the end. Everyone gets a little bit more. It's 8 divided among 3 now. I mean, some people may be able to get some more. Actually, let's see. All surviving branded are distributed equally. The names back in attribute points, in which we're going to put a footnote here. We'll put another footnote here. There's a mixture of results. Some said that the quote floating attributes that couldn't be distributed. Let's see. There's a mixture of results. Some said that the floating attributes that couldn't be distributed equally were lost. Others where it was a competition between others to gain that power. Do as thy will. There we go. Because that's the entire idea. One of the big ideas of the setting, anyway, is that chaos. When he pretty much lost, he pretty much threw the world into chaos. And that means everybody was like, oh, wait, does that mean I can be an asshole with 0 consequence because the world's already in... Like, yeah, world sucks. Be a dick. World is fuck. Kill everyone. Who cares? Like, or you can choose to be a nice person, which is always a valid option. There were a mixture of results. Others were... so the climax phase, demon gains a new attack, 55 HP, we'll slap an image right there. Because if we use the image right there, it's going to give it... Okay, so that is the climax phase, which sounds a lot more impressive than it actually was. But generally speaking, that's really all you need to worry about. It's not something like big. It's literally just the combat phase, but bigger. But this does bring me to... let me just do a double check. Do we want to do items first, or do we want to... Let's see, we don't need any of that. We don't need the adventure phase, really. Do we want to do this first? We don't really need to worry about magic, so just be equipment and stuff. Or do we want to do advancement first? Actually, we don't even need to do talents. Let's do... No, I said we're going to do equipment. Let's do equipment. So, we're going to do primary and exterior equipment. Now, this is where things get a little bit hectic, otherwise known as Dragonquest equipment. Wow, everybody. Oh no. Let's do category equipment. As you can see here, there's quite a bit. And like, oh, I want to do handwear. What kind of handwear is there? Please tell me. And oh wow, look everybody, there's a fucking lot. There's just lots. There's lots of items and cotton gloves. Woo! What I'm thinking about doing is probably making like sets, which actually maybe going to like Dark Soul. Actually, let's do Demon Souls armor sets. Let's check Demon Souls. So it's like Ancient King, Blinded Cross. So these are the full sets. Then we can do... We just kind of keep it general with like the armor sets in general. Yeah, fire monks. Yeah, no, okay. Let's think. Because you can tell, like, there's a lot of different armors and stuff, so it's like... Do we keep it simple? Let's keep it simple. Simple. Simple is good. Simple is good. Remember that, everybody. Simple saves lives. Do we really need that many weapons? Let's ask ourselves that. Do we really need that many weapons? There's gonna be like 17 gorillion fucking weapons. Yep, alright, here we go. Wait, is this it? No, this is pretty much it. Cool. Awesome. Let's do Dragon Quest like 9. Like, let's do Dragon Quest 9. That's what we've been kind of basing stuff off of. Alright. Alchemy ingredients, leg armor, characters, footwear, handwear, headwear, items, shield skills, weapons. Leather, yeah, so it goes, it just gradually increases in value. So, oh sweet Jesus, oh sweet Jesus. How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? We want to make it so... Oh, okay, let's break this down first. What weapon skills do we have? So let's just select this. These are the weapons that we have. So we have short blade, long blade, short blunt, long blunt. So maybe we do a few weapons per. What is that? So a weapon is going to a basic weapon. Let's just say a basic weapon. Actually, I guess I put these together, didn't I? There we go. So we don't really need that many weapons per. I don't really think so. But so what does a weapon make? What makes a weapon? So we need the weapon name, obviously. Weapon class. That's pretty simple to understand. So actually it'll be weapon class. Actually, we'll say type instead, just so we can understand what the fuck it is. Damage. Actually, no, we can do critical damage. So okay, so it's just going to do. So yeah, okay. And critical damage. So weapon type, damage, critical damage. Tags? Do we need tags, really? Do we really need tags? I don't think so. I don't think we do. I do not believe we do. Welcome to game design, kids, otherwise known as me staring at a fucking wall for 3 hours. Okay, so if you have it, why don't you use it, right? Right. No. Bad. Okay, so you know what? We have a short. So these are our basic short swords. Short sword. Let's do a curved sword. Straight sword. Okay, so daggers. All right. We can add a dagger. We'll add a... Yeah, no. Don't need fancy weapons. We need nice and reliable weapons. So it would be something like, okay, here's our basic ones, and these are going to be short blades. What's the damage going to be like? So it's going to be probably like 1d6 plus... But how do we separate these? How do we separate them? We are going to give them tags. So like short sword's going to do like 1d6. Curved sword's going to do like 1d, like 2d3 damage. That could work. But no, I don't need smart fill. So pretty much you just double the amount of damage you do. Straight sword. We really need that though. Something like that. Well, there's two options here. There's two options. We either detail the weapon, or what we can do. Radical idea. Radical idea. New radical plan. We give them all the same thing. It's gonna sound a little bit weird. But we make like short blades. All short blades are gonna roughly do the same thing. They're all gonna do about 1d6 damage. However, then you're gonna select something in addition to it. But no, that's not gonna work. Does he just give you a raw damage bonus? So we just do something like this. Fuck the tags, just do raw damage and who's able to equip it. That could work. So we do equip all... actually, exclusion... Oh. This is a weird one. So I'll do like skill mastery. So short blades, you can have 0%, you can still use a fucking dagger with it. It's not going to really do much, but that's not the point of it. Curved sword, you need at least, let's say, 30% with. Short sword, you only need like 20%. So your skill mastery determines how good you are with actually a weapon. So if I have a, short blades at 23%, I can't really use the curved sword at all. Like, that's just not something I can use, but I can definitely use the short sword. Actually, we can do maybe like... We'll put in like bleed. There we go. That could work. I think, yes, this should work. Because it would help characters give a little bit more personality to things, so we don't really need that many daggers. So, straight swords, great swords. Where do you put katanas? Where did I end up putting the long blades? Okay, okay. Alright, I know what I'm doing. Okay, okay. Gamer moments, gamers, gamers. So our basic weapon, let's just say like a long sword. Let's just go through and see what weapons we can have. What weapons do we actually need? Anything big here? Let's say claymore. Actually, no, let's just do greatsword. Fuck it, we're boring. Flambeuse. We don't really need a flambeuse. The moonlight glare. A moonlight greatsword. So ultra great swords. So we do great sword, then we do like a bastard sword. Call it a grand sword. See, if I wanted to go full on, what I do is call it a diclave, but diclave doesn't really work, so this would be literally an ultra great sword. So fuck, do we just call it an ultra great sword? Yeah, let's just call it an ultra great sword. Why fucking not? Here, go for it. Why not? Katana. We don't really need to worry about any of you. Piercing swords. Fucking rapier, I guess. There we go. I guess what we can do is... with the rapier here, short blades. Your damage is going to be 1d6, 2d6. Mastery is going to be 35%, and you're going to have Pierce. If you score a critical hit, you ignore all their fucking armor. Pretty standard stuff here. And you're going to have long sword. Long sword. Actually, long blades. Your basic damage is going to be twice that. Critical damage is going to do 46. Rapier we don't need. Katana is going to do it's going to do a little bit. Actually, it's going to do base damage, but the thing is, it's going to do big crit damage. Ultra Great Sword is going to have a big ol' fuck you amount of damage. Same goes for the Great Sword. But their critical isn't really going to be all, not 2d20, 2d10, but their critical isn't really going to be that good because you're already swinging a massive fuck off sword. You can't really swing the fuck off sword better. Bastard Sword's going to do, usually we're just using 2d6 and 2d8, so we're going to do, Bastard Sword is going to be 3d6 damage with a consistency of 5d6 damage. Actually, we can do 3d10 damage, and now we do 2d10 damage for your critical damage. So, no, that's not. Actually, we do 3d6 plus 1d10. Mastery-wise, we'll say 0%. Your longsword is the most basic weapon you can use. In that requirement, we can do 40, we'll do 30% here. Bastard swords are going to require 25%. Ultra great swords are going to be 60%. And the katana is going to be 40%. But we can actually bump you up to 40% probably. We'll make you 30%. And we'll make the katana 40%. Okay. We'll do... call a line strike. Actually, group. We'll do group strike. Bastard swords aren't really going to have an effect. Great sword. What we'll do actually is two-handed. Two-handed. Katanas don't have anything. They just get an insane crit chance. If they crit, they're going to do a shit ton of damage, but they have to fucking crit with the weapon because it's a katana. Katana. Okay. Cool. All right. Actually, it does bring up something interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the hatchet because we have to put the axes in here as well. You're only going to do 1d3 damage, but if you crit, you're going to do that. You're going to need to do 15% pretty reliably on that. And that means the axes, great axes. Axes, hand axe, battle axe. Owie. Battle axe, long blades. You're gonna do higher damage on. What's the gimmick with axes? So you're gonna do pretty decent, pretty consistent damage. You're not really gonna be able to. You're not gonna really get that crit damage. However, you're gonna be pretty. You're decent. Yeah. We can actually put a great axe. Actually, we can put the dismember effect on there. Put dismember on there, do great sword like that. Actually, we'll do the ultra great sword. Damage is going to be a little bit lower. Actually, damage is going to be a bit higher. Crit's going to be not really all that much better. But the big thing is going to be, it's going to have slow tag. Slow tag, which means your initiative is going to be lower. By virtue of having that, your initiative is going to be lower by having one of these weapons, because you're just going to be attacking slower. That's the gimmick, I guess. That's what we're gonna go with, because I can. Hammers, great hammers. Club. We don't need you. Light blunt, short blunt. Blunt weapons aren't going to really have that much damage, but they're going to be consistently easier to use. It's going to be club, short blunt. Short blunt's going to do 1d3. Critical is going to do 2d3 damage. It's system mastery of 0%. Skill mastery of 0%. We're going to do mace, which is going to be short blunt, going to do 1d6. Actually, it's going to do 2d6 damage. It's going to critical damage 3d6. Going to need 20% to use it. And the effect is going to have stun. You're going to be able to stun an enemy if you crit. Or you push or crit, you're going to be able to stun an enemy. Let's see. Is there anything else short blunt-wise, hammer-wise? Hammer time. I guess we can throw in like a war pick. There we go. War pick, short blunt, damage 1d. We'll do 1d10, critical damage 1d10 plus 1d3. 30%. It's going to have pierce if you crit. That's all you're getting. That's all she wrote. Let's see. We will do long blunt. Large club. Large club. Great hammer. Let's see, is there anything else we're working with here? Demon's great ham. Dragon tooth. Blighttown, Smo's hammer. Smoog. We'll do hammer. Dark Souls 2 hammers. Mace Club, Morningstar Reinforced Club, Handmaid's Ladle, or pick hammer. Let's do Elden Ring. Elden Ring hammers. Club, Curve Club, Spike Club, Stone Club, Mace Club. Actually, Scepter. Scepter, long blunt. It's going to do 1d6 damage. Critical damage is going to be 1d6 plus focus point. It's going to do critical damage. It's going to be 1d6 plus 1d3. Skill mastery is going to be 20. It's going to be 20%, and it's actually. There we go. Open magic. So the idea is that since it's a weapon like that, you can use any of your magic. It's a scepter that you can use to beat someone to death with, because it's a goddamn scepter, and you can do that. That also means we can technically add in weapons that can scale off int. Okay. Because there isn't... Fun fact, everybody, there isn't actually that much you can do with great hammers. Because it's a fucking hammer. We'll do two-handed. QD10 will do bump you up to... That works. 30% of that. If you want to go long blunt, you're going to need to get an item for it, really. Let's see. We don't need long blades anymore. Long blunt, short blade, short blunt. Heavy pole, light pole. So we'll do light pole weapons next. Light pole. We'll do staff. Spear. Pitchfork. Actually, duh, we want to do Dragonquest staff. Not staff. Oops. What the hell? A laundry pole. Light pole, you want to do 1d6 critical. Actually, you're going to do 1d3 critical damage. Is going to be 2d3 skill mastery 0%, two-handed, and we're going to say back row. Actually, no, we're going to make you just two-handed. You're a two-handed shitty weapon, literally designed for people to not get stabbed. Spear, you're going to need 15%, two-handed, and you're two-handed with pierce. I believe that's pretty fair. You're going to do 1d6 and 2d6. 2d6, that's pretty fair. Pitchforks, you're going to be even worse. Actually, you're going to do 1d. You're going to do, unless you crit, that means. But in exchange, it's 10%. Literally, if you have any remote skill, you can use a pitchfork. Actually, do I even want to put this in? Actually, instead of pierce, it's going to have bleed. We're going to do 2d6. Actually, 2d6. But the damage isn't going to be as good. But the damage is going... But you're going to be able to crit a little bit heavier on it. System master... skill mastery, 25%. Two-handed stun. Not really designed to do much else, but this brings us to heavy pole. Heavy pole. That brings bird. So. Okay, so that brings us to things like the halberd. What else are we looking for? What did I else put out here? Scythes. Scythe. Poleaxe. What else are we working with here? Hammer. I don't want to word this. So it would be halberds. Halberd, Elden Ring. Tell me more about halberds. Actually, we can do. Actually, no, the militia saw heavy pole. You're gonna do What we can do, we can actually do 3d5 with the idea that you could do 2d10 damage. You need we need 25%. You're just gonna do you're gonna be two-handed, ranged, bleed. Two-handed, ranged, stun, actually pierce. Two-handed, bleed. Actually, we'll do that two-handed range. Actually, we can make the malicious saw this at 0%. Two-handed range, then we make the halberd this, we cut the bleed. You're gonna just do a shit ton of damage. Which we can add in just the pike as a heavy pull. Don't know the damage yet. 0%, two-handed, ranged. We do that for all our basic halberd weapons here, because that should give a good example of what we're working with. Okay. Boost scythe up. Let's boost that up to this. Halberd should be, let's make that halberd 35%. Militia saw should be 10%. Literally just like, have you invested points into this? Yes. So actually, we can probably make a scythe 45, 40, 50. Let's make you 50, 45, 55 for the poleaxe. Damage wise, you're going to do 2d5. Scythe is going to do... Let's make the scythe do quite a bit of damage. The poleaxe is going to do a good chunk of damage. The halberd is going to do a good chunk of damage. It's going to be mostly based off crit here. The pike is going to do good, reliable damage. Not a lot of damage, but reliable damage. 1d10 plus 1d6 for its crit. Halberd is going to be all about... Halberd doesn't have the pierce value, but it's going to be able to do, let's say, 3d10. Actually, it's going to do 4d10 on crit. Poleaxe is going to do 3d10. Actually, what we can do is we can do 2d10 plus 2d6 to kind of give it that bigger range. Because you have the pierce when it comes to the crit anyway. So, critical damage wise, that's just going to be good. You're not going to get the pierce. Scythe, on the other hand, is just going to make that 3d10 raw. The idea being that, like, oh no, they're bleeding now. The militia saw is going to do 4d5 damage. Yeah, 46. Let's do 46 damage. Actually, 45. That means you can have a maximum of 4 to 20. It'd be 4 to 20. That one would be 10. It'd be 2. It's 2 to 16 versus 4 to 20. Okay, so critical damage is technically better here. 3d5, yeah. We bump it up to 45. That means just the range is a little bit nicer. Feels a little bit more elegant. Because mostly, like, you kind of want to shift from the saw. If I really wanted to, what I could do is take this off. So the pike, you can actually stay in the back row and keep attacking, but the militia saw, you have to get up there because it's a fucking saw. Cool. So that means light pull, heavy pull done. Exotic weapons. Cool. Okay, so actually no, we give dismember here. We give dismember there. Okay. Roll a d10 and half it. It's like d3. That's it, really. Usually would be like 1, 2 equal 1, 3, 4 equal 2, 5, 6 equal. Because again, quite literally, it's like, how do you make everything work with a d6 and a d10? Because that's all the dice I really have to work with. D5 is a little bit less common than D3. I will say that. Much less common. And probably for good reason. It's a weird number. Like, it's one of those things, like, odd numbers on dice always kind of, it doesn't sound right. Like, 2D3, it's so small that you can kind of like, okay, this makes sense. But like, oh, hey, I want to, like, simulate, like, what was the one? It was like, yeah, simulate D1, D5 with a D10. It's like, that doesn't quite... Your brain's like, what? No, that's not how that works. Things are weird. Things are weird and strange, and it makes no sense. We need to do fist weapons. You're going to do fist. Fist! Actually, we're going to do, here's the thing. We're going to do fist weapons. And I actually put that as its own skill, correct? Yes, I did. Do you even have fist weapons in this game? You do. Cool. Literally, it's going to be the cestus and claws. Probably, it's good. Yeah, cestus, claws, and Qatar, because Qatars are cool. Fuck you. Fist, fist, fist. Cestus is quite literally just like a weighted thing on your hand more than anything. It is literally, that's all it is. It's a weighted thing on your hand. So what we're going to do is it's going to be a solid 1D, it's going to do 1D5, critical 2D5, skill mastery 0%, because you just literally need a 0% on it. And effects none. It's ta-da! Actually, what we can do is we can put stun on it. If you push for it, you can add that bleed, and Qatar is going to have bleed and dismember, I think, because we're going to be making this 60% on the Qatar, because Qatars are weird. 45% there. Claws are going to do 1d6 damage. Crits are going, it's going to crit on 3d6 though. Qatars are going to do, we make this the big one. We make this like 3d5. And then if you crit, you're going to do 3d10. Actually, we'll make it like, we can make it really consistent damage. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, odd numbers feel wrong to roll because your brain just doesn't want to roll them. It can't really comprehend that very well. Your head's like, no, stop it. So here's where things are going to get a little bit weird. A basic punch is going to do... I don't want to do this. It's going to be like... Let me see. For the martial artist, I give them a talent to let them mitigate that. Let's take away internal focus. And we'll give them unarmed master. Which... we can base it off of strength, and we'll make the numbers look like... 2 to 4, no, let's say 2 to 5, you're going to be doing about 1d, you're going to do 1d3 damage. 6 to 8, actually 6 to 9, you're going to do 1d6 damage. Actually, 1d6. 10 to, we'll say 10 to 12, you're going to do 1d10 damage, which is a punching, because that's pretty fucking strong. 13 to 15, you're going to do 1d10 plus 1d6. 16 to 20, you're going to do 2d10. Which normally you're not going to be able to reach that high, and your average out is going to be about a d6. So that should do well. I'm going to post this right here, which is going to be based off your bod attribute, which is going to be based off your strength attribute, because that's what they care about. So, and what I'm going to do is going to be strength. Going to be your martial arts. Actually, we do that. No. Let's do 1d2, 1d5 at 10 to 12. Actually, 1d2, 1d3, 1d6, 1d10, 1d10 plus 1d3. Actually, we'll do 1d10 plus 1d6. So it's going to be your martial arts. It's going to be we'll do the unarmed damage critical. We'll do additional 1d6 skill mastery 0. There's going to be no effects. Kick, on the other hand, is going to do unarmed. It's going to do unarmed damage plus 1d6, and it's going to add an extra d6, 1d6 to it. Skill mastery 25%. Let's see. Punch, kick. We can probably do... actually, we'll do light kick, heavy kick, Because who the fuck is going to want to invest unarmed damage plus 2d5 critical damage. It's also going to just be, going to add another d6 to it. Because these are very, in exchange for not having any fucking, equipment really, you get to punch people more reliably. You get to kick, punch, kick, and do everything else. So light punch, light kick, heavy kick. We'll do heavy punch, unarmed damage. Let's do a double check on the numbers here. 2d5. We'll do plus 1d5. Yes. Critical damage is going to be 1d6. It's going to be 35% to do that reliably. You're going to be able to stun somebody if you crit on it, as you're going to punch them in the face. Yes, this should do fine. And we're just going to have to remember that. And then we're going to go down to the martial artist. Which is the unarmed damage bonus is 1 step higher. And then we're going to have to put that in the equipment section, the unarmed damage bonus. It's going to be right here. So we have all our fist weapons. Now we have exotic weapons, otherwise known as weird shit. Exotic weapons, there are going to be exactly 2 exotic weapons. There's going to be the two-bladed sword, 2d10 damage. Critical damage is going to be 4d10, skill mastery 45%, and it's going to have bleed. Then we're going to have a whip. It's going to be exotic. It's going to do 1d4 damage. It's going to do 1d3 damage with a critical of 2d3 damage. And a skill mastery of 35%, but it's going to have stun. It's going to stun on it. It's actually, this is going to be two-handed bleed. Yeah, you're going to have stun and something called steel on it. I really don't know what else to put for exotic weapons, because exotic weapons are just like, these are weird ass things that shouldn't be used as actual weapons, because there are quite a few of those, in fact. So let's do colossal swords. Colossal weapons, like, yeah, like, what do you know? So, exotic weapons are done. You don't gotta think about those too hard. Gauntlet, we're not gonna worry about that yet. We don't need to worry about unarmed anymore. So next, we literally just have to worry about these ones. Let's do bows and crossbows. Bows, type, damage, critical damage, skill mastery, effect, and all of these are always going to have ranged. So we're going to have a short bow, long bow, great bow, type, bow, damage, light bow, short bow is going to do 1d6 damage with a critical of 2d6 and a skill mastery of 0%. This is the reliable one. You're going to do 2d6 damage with a critical of 4d6 damage with a skill mastery of 20%. The great bow is going to do 2d10 damage with a critical of 4d10 with a skill mastery of 50%. Not many people are going to use this. Boomerang. I'm gonna put that in throne. Because throne needs more than like knife, javelin. Yeah, welcome to bows, everybody. That's literally all you're gonna get. Crossbows. Okay, this should be pretty easy. Crossbows. We're gonna do light. Actually, we're gonna do a light crossbow. Actually, hand crossbow, crossbow, heavy crossbow. I put anything else as an example? No. I did put a light crossbow. There we go. So, damage is going to... So the hand crossbow is going to do damage of 1d3 with a crit of 2d, which is going to do a crit of 3d3 damage. Skill mastery is going to be actually pretty decent, and it's going to be ranged. And we're going to put... Do we need to put anything on here? No, we're not going to do put anything on there. It's just a quick little one-handed bow. Actually, range two-handed. We can't put slow on you now. Heavy crossbow, we can put ranged. Ranged reload. The idea being like you have to spend an action to actually reload the damn thing because it is a crossbow. Crossbow itself is going to be 15%. The heavy crossbow is going to be 50%. The light crossbow is going to be 0%. So 1d3 crossbow, 2d6, 4d6. That seems pretty good, but we're going to bump you up just a little bit. We're going to make you that, and we're going to be doing that. Heavy crossbow is going to do 3d10 damage with a critical of 4d10 damage. But you're going to go very slow while firing it, otherwise known as you're going to fire the crossbow, then your initiative is going to be later by just using it. By virtue of having it equipped, your initiative is going to be lower, which means that you're going to attack later. You might do a lot of damage, but the problem being that you are kind of paying for it. Let's see, 3d5, we can make you 2d5 and then 4d5. So we make you... Yeah, that works. Actually, let's take away the reload on you. There we go. Cool. Ta-da, we did it, everybody. We did it, Reddit. Let's do throne. Throne type, throne. We're going to say knives. We're going to say throwing knives. Javelins, boomerang. Boomerang! Boomer! Boomer! Let's see, do you have any other thrown fucking weapons in here? No. No, there just isn't any thrown weapons. Dragonquest thrown weapons? Oh, Titan Quest. Very different. It's all Titan Quest stuff. Knives, javelins, boomerang. Yeah, throwing knife is going to do 1d2 with a critical of 2d2. Skill mastery is going to be 50. Skill mastery is going to be 20%. Actually, what we can do is we can add in stone. Throwing knife, 1d2, 2d2. We'll do 1d5, 3d5, 3d5. Skill mastery, we'll say that 35%. We'll give you bleed because javelins are scary, and then we'll make it for you 1d3, 3d3. Skill mastery at 55%, and with stun. Because you're gonna hit by a fucking boomerang. Okay, that should be all of the major weapons. The major kinds of weapons that we no longer have to think about anymore. I'm going to have to organize all of these, obviously, but that's going to be its own fucking nightmare that I'm just going to have to deal with. So, but we have all these done. We're going to have to do the martial arts thing. Okay, so the gauntlet and talismans. Okay. We're gonna need to put the gauntlet in here. But the gauntlet is going to be its own unique thing. So we'll give the gauntlet its own effect, actually. So we're going to do gauntlet damage. Gauntlet damage here, and the gauntlet is going to be based off your wisdom attribute. Yes, we'll say the wisdom attribute. Why not lose the same thing? Because why not? Because I'm very lazy and I can do that based off your wisdom attribute. With the advantage being that a shaman is going to be able to empower it. That's kind of the base thing. You're going to have the gauntlet with the ability to actually influence it by virtue of like, hey, I have this. You are able to use this ranged weapon at all times. But what I'll do is put this and put this here, and then we'll put the gauntlet. We'll just say, we'll just call it a flat 5. Actually, we'll do a flat 2d6 damage. Skill mastery is going to be Skill mastery is going to be at like 25%. If you don't have gauntlet at least 25%, you can't use the gauntlet. The effects is I'm going to put the shaman soul. Shaman's current souls effects affect elemental damage. Elemental damage is tied to the user's current elemental soul. Otherwise known as, do you have a shaman elemental soul? And you're going to be able to do like consistently, like here, this is fire damage, this is water damage, this is lightning damage. Emran, for example, doesn't really have super high wisdom. I think he has like a 10, so he'd be doing 1d6 damage consistently with it. However, the catch being that he can use lightning damage. And against anything it's weak against, he's going to be able to do more damage. Ta-da! Not exactly the most exciting thing in the world, but that's that. And talismans. I'm going to put in exterior equipment, I think. Okay. Now, this is where things get a little bit hectic, otherwise known as I get to... Hi, phone. What's up? Do you want to tell me about something? What do you want to tell me about? You're going to tell me all about how much you enjoy texting me in the middle of things? That's going to be great. There we go. Because yes, all of these are going to go together in one giant fucking list. One gigantic goddamn list. It's going to be great. We haven't even done armor yet. Yeah. But I am going to make an executive decision and probably just make it like really simple. And make armor super easy. Because easy makes my life simple. And I like simple. Pretty much all we need. Like, the big thing with armor is that you're going to have the initiative penalty with it. And since you'd be probably basing it off already things like... I want to be too far of a stretch, but let's actually do... This thing with Dragonquest... The problem with Dragonquest armor... Like... The actual, like, Dragonquest armor, how this shit actually works is like, oh, here's this, and gives a defense bonus. Pretty much, it's just going to be that PD bonus. It doesn't really do much outside of those PD bonuses. So it's like, okay, since we don't really have to think about that as much, that's fine. This is okay. We don't need to think about it as much. Since we don't have to think about it as much, that should be fine. Dark Souls armor does a little bit more because it's defending against certain types. But... no, this sort of thing is a little bit hectic. We get to hit that button. There we go. Ooh. Let's see the branded, and the branded will always necessary gear for their current situation. Rarely anything more than what they can carry. From what they can carry, however, rarely more than whatever they can carry. The most important goods, all equipment broken down into primary and exterior varieties. Let's see, primary equipment is attached to the person, such as weapons, hats, armor, and trinkets. While exterior equipment are consumables or tools such as talismans. And healing and potions. A branded may have a weapon, armor, 2 trinkets, and 2 trinkets equipped, and 2 trinkets equipped at any one time. Let's see, may have a weapon, armor, and 2 trinkets equipped at any one time. However, with 2 pieces of exterior equipment, on their belts, exterior equipment on their belt. And we're going to do weapons. A weapon is a tool designed to inflict harm on another being. Not exactly the most. Let's see. A weapon is a tool designed to inflict harm upon another being. The branded will always have a single weapon on them if they use them. All branded begin with a weapon in the category of their choice. In the category of choice, if they have a category of their choice, each weapon is broken down Down into... This is going to break horribly. I hope you all... Oh, God. Oof. Okay, we're going to select everything here. We want to go to Ubuntu. We're going to keep it 10. Centralize everything. Yeah, alright. This works, this works, this works. Table properties. Black on black, alignment, middle center. Yeah, that actually works pretty well. Oh, well, let's see. Each weapon is broken down into its type, tied to the skill, damage, which will be dealt on a successful attack. Critical damage, which is dealt when the branded strikes a critical hit. Skill mastery, which is the minimum skill necessary to use the weapon, and a variety of effects that the weapon will do. Cool. Ranged. Sometimes you gotta do a... Oh my god, I hate it. I hate it when it does this. Do that. There we go. Cool. Alright. That should be all the weapons we need. So you kind of, it's kind of a smorgasbord list. Unarmed damage. Which we were going to... I don't want to more... Is there any place I can put this? No. There is no place to put this, so I'm going to put it here instead. And how we're going to do this is pretty simple. Footnote. The unarmed, and gauntlet damage table. There is a table as a sidebar indicating the unarmed and gauntlet damage. Which is tied to the attributes. I have no idea where to put this. Put this as it's mentioned nowhere else. So nowhere else except the martial artist. So here it is. So here it is. And do this. We do insert table 1 by 1. We put this right here. Unarmed. I have no idea what's going on. This is really wacky. How could it be this way? Oh no. And then we select, then we go down to here, and then we select this. Or we can just go back, because I forgot I can do that. So here it is. Control-Shift-8. Do we want it? We're gonna have to do this, aren't I? 2 by 2. We're gonna make a sub table inside of the table. So it's going to be attribute rating, damage, attribute rating, damage, which is going to be 0. Actually, we'll do 0 to 4. 0 to 2, which is going to be 0 damage. Which is to say, you literally have no ability to do the thing. 3 to 5, we'll do 3 to 5, which is going to be 1d3 damage. 6 to 9, which is going to be which is actually this would be 1d2, 1d3. 10 to 12, it's going to be 1d6. 13. 13 to 15 is going to be 1d10. 1d10, and finally it's going to be 16 to 20, which is going to be 1d10. 1d10 plus 1d6. The beauty of doing what I'm doing. So we select this. Now, if we really wanted to do, we do insert row below, insert column to the right. Merge these, select this, put it in here. And we're going to put this right here. So we have the attribute rating system right here. And we centralize, and actually we got to go to the table properties. We have to do alignment, top, center. So we need to go there. We need to center this. Then we go here, and then we open this up. Gauntlet. The gauntlet damage is tied to wisdom. It's tied to wisdom, and unarmed damage is tied to strength. For example, a branded has a strength of 10 and wisdom of 4, wisdom of 5. They will deal 1d6 damage in unarmed combat. And deal 1d2 damage with a gauntlet. Martial artists can move this around by increasing the step of it. So with 10, they'd be doing 1d10 damage. Then we do paste this right here. We do that, and we do table properties. We do that at the top. And what I wish I could do, now here's the dream. What I wish I could do is select both of these and then put it as white, but I can't, so I'm doing this instead. So I should be able to do this. I don't think we're gonna be, yeah, this ain't big enough. Unless I like shrink it down to like 10 or something. If I shrink it down to 10, can I fit it on here? No, the attribute rating is way too big. So I'm gonna do that. We'll just put an image right there, put an image right there. Cool, so that does mean we're good on that front. I like it when things work out. I love it. So, armor. Armore. So we're going to do armor. Luckily, armor is going to be very simple. Armor is literally going to be armor type, physical defense bonus. It actually will do PD bonus. Let's do initiative penalty. If I want to be really mean, I'll do a casting penalty. Actually, we'll do a magic penalty. And is there anything else that I could really... No. So armor type, none. Light, 2, you're gonna get 2 bonus, 0, 0. Everyone's encouraged to get at least some armor. That's the idea. Medium armor, we're going to double that effect. The initiative penalty is going to be -1. It's going to be -2 actually, because it's initiative penalty is 2d6, I believe. So we'll do -2. Magic penalty is going to be a negative. This is going to be the first -20%. Actually, we'll do a -10. We'll do a -15%. This one's going to be a -30%, and the final one's going to be a -80. It's going to be a -60%, which is going to be heavy armor and then super heavy armor. PD bonus is going to, of course, increase exponentially, but your initiative penalty is also going to get phenomenally worse. Ta-da! Now, wearing super heavy armor is fine if you're okay going last. And sometimes people are going to be okay going last. If you're a warrior, maybe going last is good. Because you're a big fuck-off tank. You're going to be able to take all this damage, and you know exactly when you're going to go. Which could be very beneficial to some people. It might be beneficial to you as a warrior to go last, because oh no, I got hit by a status effect where I'm gonna, oh no, I've taken a lot of this stuff, and like, yeah, no, at the end of the round I'm gonna get a bonus. So at the end of the round, I just triggered this. It's right here. So that it's kind of a stopgap, but like, yeah, this is literally all it's going to be. Nothing too. Let's see. Armor is the combined set of equipment, set of protective equipment that allows the user to keep themselves alive and ward away danger. The heavier the equipment, the heavier the equipment, the heavier the burden of wearing it is. Actually, if I really wanted to do this, what we can do is initiative penalty, and we'll do a strength requirement, which is going to be 0. You're going to need a minimum of like 5 strength, set 8 strength, and then 10 strength to wear the super heavy armor. Okay. The heavier the burden of wearing it is. As well as the protection it offers. When a branded chooses their ideal armor, they will increase their physical defense, increase their physical defense, but also have to manage. We're going to post this link right here. We're going to select all of you, make you Ubuntu 10, I believe. Table properties, middle, center, black on black. But also have to manage the strength requirement, initiative penalty, as well as the magic skill, as well as the magic penalty, So the heavier armor you're equipping, the harder it is to cast magic. That's pretty much it. Not exactly, and this isn't supposed to be very innovative, it's supposed to be functional. And kind of the idea, and like at the end of this, I'm going to probably put like a side note right here, which is going to be like, yeah, no, like this is really sparse for a reason. Like this makes a little bit of sense. And next we're going to do trinkets. I'm going to leave trinkets for probably later for my own sanity. And the idea behind trinkets are pretty simple. These are literally like items that you can equip. Like, that's really it. They're items. Like, oh, this is the bangle that makes you go faster and shit like that. So I want to just, what I'm going to do is trinkets, reflect specialized pieces of equipment that influence the branded in the field. Many trinkets are rare. Many trinkets are rare and require a bit of identification to determine their true value. However, trinkets can be incredibly powerful. Powerful or cursed. Cursed, and then we'll do a cursed trinket. Cursed trinket cannot be taken off, and often have a negative effect with it. Only by dying will the trinket be removed from the branded. So yeah, you accidentally equipped a negative trinket. If you equipped a cursed trinket, you're not losing it until you die. At which case, you can be taken off your corpse and maybe tossed away, or maybe you want to keep it because it is actually pretty good. Like, oh, this is nice. I want this, but oh no. I'm gonna put just a few sample trinkets down here. I think the final bit we need is going to be exterior equipment. Potions, bandages, teas, and other remedies allow the branded to keep up the fight. Actually, bandages, bombs, and other remedies allow the branded to keep up the fight or influence it in a drastic way. Each piece of exterior equipment can be used a certain number of times before it's fully used. Returning to the hub, or relaxing relaxing during the rest phase. Rest phase will restore one kind of exterior equipment of the branded's choice. Of the branded's choice. Choice only once per adventure. So you can only do this once. You have all your goods. You can go back to a place. You can always refill it once. Actually, returning to the hub. One kind of exterior equipment. Only once per equipment. Rest area. Rest phase. The rest phase. Rest phase resupply can only be used once per adventure. While the hub always restore all of exterior equipment. And always restore all of the exterior equipment. Can always restore equipment. But traveling back is treacherous. So it's kind of like the idea of like you can go back to the hub and restore a bunch of your stuff. The problem being that you've returned to the hub, now you're back and everyone's going to suffer for it. Okay, so we're good there. Everything's good. Alright. I'm feeling decent. Feeling pretty decent. So we got a lot of exterior stuff. I just need to write in trinkets and exterior equipment. That won't take too long. Like, being honest, that will not take too long. Pretty much what I need to do. Enemies and sample demon. There we go. I need to get the enemies and the sample demon. I am going to work on the rest of this today, probably later today, into Wednesday. At Wednesday, it'll be done. That'll be my goal. Health and dying, I don't know where to put that. I might put that with the I might write up the advancement section all in one go, just so I don't have to think about it very much. And once those two sections are done, I feel pretty good. And then on Wednesday, we can either work on the enemies and exterior, kind of the enemies and sample demon stuff, or we can kind of finish up what I didn't get done. And then we're doing pretty good. There might be some others like little stuff that need to be done, but generally I think we're making good time. I might be able to work on Metal Saviors this Friday. So, thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. Hope you had a wonderful rest of your time. If there's any questions, you know where to reach me. And Godspeed and good luck. I'll catch you all on Wednesday. Also, do not forget, this Saturday, noon, EST, The Curious Case of PBTA Games, number 2. God help me. Why do I do this to myself? All right, I am away. Yeah.